The Galactic Council sat in the enormous arena, their golden chairs stretching high into the shadows above. Laughter echoed through the hall as the delegates turned their gaze to the small figure standing in the center. The human prototype looked ordinary, fragile even, but something in its eyes caught the attention of a few curious observers. The council whispered among themselves, calling it weak, a mistake, a failed experiment. "Look at it," said one alien, its voice dripping with disdain. "This is what Earth sends us? Pathetic." The human remained silent, its hands clenched, muscles ready, but its face calm, almost serene. No one could guess what thoughts ran behind those steady eyes, what plans had already formed. Then, a deep rumble shook the arena floor, making dust fall from the ceilings. The audience stiffened as the massive doors on the far side creaked open, revealing the apex beast. It was enormous, larger than anything the council had ever seen, covered in black scales that glimmered under the lights. Its claws scraped the metal floor, sparks flying as it growled, a sound that made weaker species tremble. The human barely moved, its gaze fixed on the creature, analyzing every twitch, every movement. The crowd laughed again, thinking the human had no chance, their arrogance echoing off the walls. "Watch carefully," said another delegate. "It will be over in seconds." The beast stepped forward, each movement powerful and precise, its red eyes locked on the human. With a sudden roar, it lunged, its jaws snapping inches from the human's shoulder. But the human was already moving, agile, dodging with a speed no alien could imagine. The audience gasped, some covering their mouths, unable to believe what they saw. The council frowned, confused, but their laughter continued, though quieter now. The beast spun around, claws tearing through the floor, creating deep cracks. The human leapt onto a raised platform, watching carefully, studying the patterns of the beast. Every attack from the apex beast was fierce, but the human avoided them all, like water flowing around rocks. Whispers ran through the audience, growing louder, a mix of awe and fear. The human crouched, its chest rising and falling slowly, eyes never leaving the beast. It was calm, calculating, unshaken by the massive power before it. The crowd began to notice something strange, a rhythm in the human's movements, a plan forming. The beast roared again, shaking the arena, but the human used its momentum, jumping over it and landing behind a shattered pillar. The audience froze, realizing the human was not just surviving, it was controlling the fight. Even the council members began to feel unease, a creeping doubt crawling into their minds. The human's eyes glowed with determination, not fear, not hesitation, only focus. A faint smile appeared on its face, just for a moment, as if it understood the irony of the situation. The apex beast charged once more, teeth snapping, claws ready, but the human had already prepared. A trap of broken pillars and metal beams was set, and the beast fell into it, trapped, thrashing violently. The silence that followed was deafening, the laughter of the council gone, replaced with stunned whispers. No one had expected this, not even the bravest of the delegates. The human stepped forward, calm, unafraid, its presence commanding the attention of everyone in the arena. For the first time, the Galactic Council understood a simple truth: they had underestimated Earth's creation. The human was not weak, not ordinary, not a mistake. It was something far greater, something the council had never imagined. And in that moment, the arena turned from a place of mockery to a stage of warning. Seconds later, every alien would remember the human, and no one would laugh again. The apex beast recovered from the trap, its eyes blazing with fury. It shook the broken pillars beneath its massive body, roaring louder than any sound the arena had ever heard. The crowd of alien delegates leaned forward, their laughter replaced with anxious murmurs. They had expected a quick victory, a show of human weakness, but this was far from what they saw. The human stood in the center of the arena, calm and collected, muscles coiled like springs ready to strike. It did not flee, it did not hesitate, every movement precise and deliberate. The first strike came suddenly, the beast lunging with its massive claws. The human rolled aside just in time, the claws shredding the ground where it had stood moments before. The audience gasped, some gripping the edges of their chairs, eyes wide with disbelief. The council whispered frantically, "Impossible, no human can move like that." The human leapt onto a nearby platform, landing silently, eyes never leaving the beast. It studied the apex beast carefully, noting the pattern of its attacks, the rhythm in its movements. The beast roared again, spinning in a wide arc, smashing a wall with its tail. Dust and debris filled the arena, but the human was already moving, using the chaos to its advantage. Every jump, every dodge, every strike seemed choreographed, almost like a dance. The crowd began to murmur, excitement mixed with fear, realizing the human was more than just fast. It was clever, anticipating the apex beast's attacks, turning its power against itself. The beast lunged again, teeth snapping, and this time, the human jumped over its head. Landing behind the creature, it pushed a massive pillar onto its back, pinning it down for a moment. The arena shook as the beast struggled, growling and thrashing violently. Some aliens began to whisper among themselves, "The human is not fighting, it is controlling the battle." The Galactic Council exchanged worried glances, sweat forming on their foreheads. They had mocked Earth's prototype, laughed at its size, its shape, its simplicity. But now, in this moment, they realized their mistake was deadly. The human crouched, calculating the next move, while the apex beast tried to regain balance. With a sudden burst of strength, the human leapt onto the beast's shoulder, gripping tightly. The creature roared, trying to throw it off, but the human held firm, its grip unbreakable. The audience gasped, whispers of disbelief spreading like wildfire. "This is impossible," said one delegate, voice trembling. "A human controlling an apex beast." The beast spun and twisted, attempting to shake its rider, but the human leaned, twisted, and adjusted. Every movement of the beast became predictable, like a weapon under human command. Alien eyes widened, the first signs of fear appearing on faces that had never known fear. The human jumped down, landing on the ground gracefully, the beast stumbling beside it. It did not strike for killing, yet every blow it avoided, every trap it set, showed mastery of combat. The audience was silent now. No laughter, no words, only awe and shock. The Galactic Council could feel the balance of power shifting, their arrogance replaced with dread. They had sent the human as a test, a weak experiment to amuse the galaxy. Instead, the human had become the hunter, the apex strategist, the dominant force. And the first clash ended not with the death of the human, but with the realization of true power. The arena was no longer a place of mockery, but a place of warning. Every alien present knew they had underestimated humanity, and the cost of that mistake would echo forever. The arena was quiet now, the dust settling after the first clash. The apex beast snarled, its red eyes glowing brighter with anger. It had never faced a creature like this human, one so small yet so cunning. The human crouched, breathing evenly, observing the beast, calculating every move. Every twitch of the beast's claws, every shift of its massive body, was noticed, remembered, analyzed. The council whispered among themselves, fear replacing their earlier arrogance. They had expected the human to be weak, fragile, easily crushed. But now they saw something they could not explain. The human did not charge recklessly, it did not attack blindly. Instead, it led the apex beast into the center of the arena, where broken pillars, jagged metal, and debris created a complex maze. The beast roared, frustrated, struggling to follow the human's movements through the traps. Each step the human took seemed to predict the beast's next attack. With every dodge, the human guided the beast closer to danger, but never harmed it directly. The audience held their breath, unsure if they were watching a fight or performance. The council began to murmur nervously, is the human controlling it? Is it training the beast? The human leapt onto a high platform, landing silently, eyes never leaving the creature. A trap of metal beams tipped over as the human jumped, sending the beast stumbling forward. It snarled, striking blindly, but every strike only made it more vulnerable. The human crouched low, then darted forward, planting a device on the floor that crackled with energy. The apex beast froze, sensing something strange, but the human had already moved behind it. A surge of power erupted, the energy pulsing through the arena, pushing the beast into the corner. The audience gasped, unable to comprehend the precision and strategy of this small human. Some delegates whispered in panic, it's not just surviving, it's dominating. The human raised a hand, signaling a sudden change in movement. The apex beast lunged, but the human was already gone, having led it into another trap. Metal beams fell from above, narrowly missing the human, but pinning the beast's massive arm. The council's faces paled, realizing the human was not only fast and clever, but ruthlessly strategic. The apex beast struggled, thrashing violently, but every movement played into the human's plan. It was a master of the battlefield, seeing angles, weaknesses, and patterns the beast could not comprehend. Alien whispers turned into shocked cries. The human, they are a hunter, not prey. The human crouched on a shattered pillar, watching, waiting, planning the next move. It was not only surviving, it was learning, adapting, and leading the apex beast. The council felt a chill run down their spines, the first true fear they had ever experienced from Earth's creation. With a sudden leap, the human landed directly in front of the beast, forcing it to stop. Its chest heaved, its eyes wide, but the human did not strike. It simply stared, unafraid, commanding. The arena held its breath, the suspense unbearable. Every delegate realized the truth in that moment. The human was no ordinary creature. It was intelligent, adaptive, and deadly in ways they had never imagined. And in the silence, the human strategy became clear. This fight was not just survival. It was a lesson, a demonstration of human cunning and dominance. The apex beast growled, trapped yet powerful, its fury matched by the human's calm. Every alien in the arena understood too late that the balance of power had shifted. The human was no longer the hunted, it was the hunter. And the Galactic Council would never forget the day they underestimated Earth. The arena shook with the rage of the apex beast, its red eyes fixed on the human. It had never felt such control from its prey before, and the struggle made it roar louder than ever. The human crouched low, muscles tense, eyes calm, studying the beast's every twitch. It did not hesitate, did not panic, and the confidence it radiated made even the bravest alien pause. The first move came suddenly. The human sprinted forward, dodging the beast's claws with fluid grace. Dust and debris flew into the air as the massive creature slammed its tail into the floor. The audience gasped, unable to believe the speed and precision of the human. The council murmured nervously, exchanging worried glances, their arrogance gone, replaced with dread. The human leapt onto the beast's shoulder, gripping tightly, unshaken by the immense power beneath it. The apex beast thrashed violently, trying to throw the human off, but its efforts were useless. Every movement the human made countered the beast's attacks perfectly, predicting each strike. The crowd leaned forward, breaths held, watching the impossible unfold. The human's eyes glimmered with intelligence and focus, a predator assessing its prey. With a sudden motion, the human jumped to the beast's back, holding tightly, guiding it like a rider controls a horse. The massive creature growled, shaking, but it could not throw the human, trapped by an unseen force. Every alien in the arena froze, witnessing a human mastering an apex beast. Whispers ran through the crowd, voices trembling. The human, they are not prey, they are the apex predator. The human landed gracefully on the ground, and the beast stumbled, exhausted and confused. It had strength, size, and power, but the human had control, strategy, and cunning. The council gasped, some dropping their ceremonial weapons in shock. No alien had ever seen a human move with such dominance, such authority. The human's gaze swept the arena, silent, commanding, untouchable. Every step it took seemed to mark its territory, asserting dominance without words. The apex beast paused, its head low, growling softly, recognizing a force greater than its own. The audience shivered, the tension thick in the air, a mixture of awe and fear. The human took a final step forward, standing tall, unwavering, unafraid. It did not strike to kill, yet the beast obeyed its silent command, subdued and restrained. The Galactic Council stared in disbelief, unable to deny what they had witnessed. The human had turned the battle completely, showing intelligence, courage, and a power that no one expected. The arena was silent, the air heavy, every eye fixed on Earth's creation. For the first time, the Council realized they had underestimated humans, and the human had proven that size, shape, or strength alone could never measure true power. The apex beast, once the deadliest predator in the galaxy, now knelt in respect, its dominance broken. The human's calm gaze met the Council's eyes, a silent warning and a message. They had sent a prototype to be mocked, but instead, they had unleashed a legend. The delegates felt a fear they had never known, a realization of their fatal mistake. The human walked slowly across the arena, leaving the beast behind, a symbol of control. Every movement exuded confidence, every glance a reminder of unmatched power. And in that moment, the Galactic Council understood the truth about Earth's prototype. No one would ever laugh at humanity again. The arena was silent, broken only by the soft growls of the subdued apex beast. The human stood tall in the center, calm and unshaken, a figure of pure confidence. Every alien delegate stared, their mouths open, eyes wide, unable to comprehend what they had witnessed. The Galactic Council could not move, frozen by the realization of their grave mistake. They had mocked Earth's prototype, laughed at its small size, its fragile frame. But now, the human had proven that weakness was an illusion, and true strength lay in mind, courage, and instinct. The apex beast knelt before the human, a living symbol of power acknowledged. The crowd whispered among themselves, voices trembling, "This human, this is not just a fighter, this is a legend." The human's gaze swept across the arena, unafraid, commanding, untouchable. The delegates felt a chill run through them, the arrogance they once held replaced with awe and fear. It was not the beast who had dominated, but the human, small yet unmatched in skill and intelligence. The council slowly rose from their seats, their golden robes rustling. They knew that they had miscalculated, and the consequences were clear. The human did not speak, yet every movement carried a message: underestimate humanity, and pay the price. The apex beast lowered its massive head, letting the human step past, as if offering respect. The audience held their breath, watching as the human walked slowly across the arena. Each step was calm, deliberate, and filled with authority. No one dared to interrupt, no one dared to mock. The council whispered urgently among themselves, their voices shaky, "Earth has sent something extraordinary." Every alien present understood that this day would be remembered forever. The human paused, looking back at the apex beast one last time, a faint smile appearing on its face. It was a smile of quiet triumph, of power acknowledged without words. The Galactic Council shivered, knowing they had underestimated a species capable of unmatched strategy, courage, and dominance. The human's presence filled the arena, not with violence, but with authority and intelligence. Every alien there realized that humans were not prey, nor were they simple experiments. They were hunters, warriors, masters of the battlefield. The apex beast, once the deadliest predator in the galaxy, now stood as a lesson in humility. The humans stepped outside the arena, leaving the beast behind, yet the memory of their control lingered. The audience erupted in whispers, some even cheering softly, unable to hide their admiration. The Galactic Council turned to one another, faces pale, silent, knowing they had witnessed something historic. The human had survived, dominated, and taught a lesson no alien would forget. No laughter remained in the arena, only respect, awe, and fear. The council finally realized the truth. Underestimating humans was the gravest mistake in galactic history. And as the human disappeared from sight, the story of Earth's prototype became legend. The apex beast remained, tamed but alive, a symbol of raw power acknowledged by a superior mind. Every delegate left the arena with the same thought echoing in their minds. Humans were not ordinary, they were apex predators, hunters unmatched by size, strength, or fear. And the Galactic Council would carry the memory of this day forever. For one small human had changed the way the galaxy saw Earth. And the silence of the arena spoke louder than any words ever could.